Case Study 0018, Abraham Lincoln versus Zombies, with erstwhile chicken tender Norah Utley. While the Civil War rages on, President Lincoln must undertake an even more daunting task: destroying the Confederate undead. All right.
So Nora, how are you doing?
Oh, better than you?
Oh, thank you. I think.
We got two COVID positive babes in a Zoom.
Sexy as hell. How did this movie affect you?
Well, first of all, I hated it.
What?
So
I don't...
Yeah, no, it was the most boring zombie movie I've ever seen in my entire life.
I gotta tell you, I have seen half of this movie before because you know that I love zombies. And so I was just like searching for zombie movies and I was like, ooh, this looks like garbage. I'll watch this. But it turned out it's too much of garbage. I could not handle it. So
I agree.
I had to watch half of it again. I've watched half of it before is all I'm saying.
So when you had me choose my movie, I was like, we've talked before about how I used to like scary movies and then I got scared by a scary movie and then I stopped watching scary movies.
Yeah.
So you were offering me all these action movies, which I did not want to watch either. And then, so I saw this and I'm like, I've heard of this one. Yeah, let's watch this one. And then I realized, no, it was Abraham Lincoln.
Oh, you got trapped. You got by Asylum, the Mockbuster Kings.
Yeah.
That's what they do.
Yeah. And then I realized it after. What a fool I was. So then I put off watching it forever because I was watching the show Dave, which, can we talk about that? No.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, well, when you watch it, I want to talk about the weird friendship with Benny Blanco.
Okay.
So if anybody wants to get in my DMs about that and explain that to me. Anyway, so I put it off till like 11 o'clock last night, which is my bedtime. And then I had to download Pluto, and then I couldn't get into Roku to download Pluto. And then it automatically started playing Touched by an Angel. And I was like, I just wish I had a grandson to help me put this on my TV. But then I finally watched it. So anyway, I'm scared of scary movies. 3 seconds into this movie, I'm like, I'm not scared of this movie.
No, this was not a scary movie. This was zombies if they were like a really shitty neighbor. Like,
yes,
there was nothing.
It was the most boring movie. I couldn't believe it. Yeah, like the first time they shot a zombie in the brains, I was like, I don't understand that. But I was excited at first because that first scene with baby Abraham Lincoln,
yeah,
I was like, oh, I'm getting such like Little House on the Prairie zombie vibes. But then that stopped.
Yeah.
So
that was like 2 minutes, if that.
Yeah. So like, I'm not a big history buff.
Oh, cool. Me neither. So we'll like go over this movie completely dazed and confused.
Yes. Well, and I don't know if it's because I went to Catholic school, but I don't really remember this part of the Civil War.
Oh, you don't remember the zombie uprising of 1863?
I don't. But
that's weird. Let's get into it.
I am. Here I am. I'm into it. Okay, also tell me if this is historically accurate or not, because during the first scene, like in the White House, maybe it's a second. Anyway, first of all, I thought Mary Todd was his daughter because she called him father the whole time.
She did. And I was confused with that as well. Is it Mary Todd or is it his daughter? Did he have a daughter? I don't know.
I don't think he had a daughter. And also, like, is Mary Todd her first name? I mean, like,
no, what?
Because then it's her maiden name, right? because he kept calling her Mary Todd, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna make my husband start calling me Norah Utley. But anyway, so he's in the White House. He's talking to the guy who looked like he could be in Andy's band.
Santa / Benjamin Franklin. I have no idea who
Benjamin
he was.
Franklin with a dirty beard.
Yep.
His name was John McGill. I was still in heavily taking notes phase at that point.
Oh, good,
anyway,
good,
when
good.
he's talking to him, I was like, I hear a siren in the background. And so I rewound it, and there was a siren, and I'm like, was that like on purpose, or was that just a real?
Yeah,
ambulance
not on purpose.
Like they didn't have sirens back then, did they?
If they did, they weren't modern. But this is also like, this was very exciting for me because the guy that played Abraham Lincoln was in a movie that Lawrence Peters and I watched called Haunting of Salem. And Lawrence said that he was a marionette. And I was really excited. And I like texted him and told him, oh my God, Abe Lincoln is the sheriff dad. And he's like, is everybody a marionette in that movie? Yeah, it was that good.
Oh my God.
It's so good.
So every year there's this service that you can get a video from Santa for your kids for free.
Yeah.
And he sounded just like Abraham Lincoln, like the whole time. So like for the last 6 years, I've been getting them for my kids. And it's like, hello, Tressa. But he's got a big beard, so you can't tell that his lips are off.
Right.
And he sounds exactly. Yeah. Well, I mean, the Santa has. Yeah. Yes. I get it. Okay. I get it.
Got it.
But yeah.
I also realized how much I hate the name Abraham. It's so gross. It's so Sunday school. I hate it.
I mean,
so
I'm not.
What's his name? Fake Benjamin Franklin is like, oh shit, this guy's coming back from this fort and he's all crazy and he won't shut up about this crazy thing that happened. You gotta go and see this guy. He's awesome or weird or fucked up. I don't know. And Abe says,
get my package from the closet. The wrapped package from the closet.
We'll get to the package. But he was like, is it the southern side? Is it the north side? Who are these flesh-eating people? And fake Benjamin was like,
Fobraham.
Yeah, Fobraham, yeah. He was like, I don't know, north, south, both. I don't know. It was like, dude, this is really important information you should be sharing with us. You don't just like take out this one really important information. And then they go and they walk to where this crazy guy from the fort was chained up. Mm-hmm. They know he's chained up. They know he's dangerous because he's chained up.
Right.
But also, real quick, on the way to going, like walking to him, there's like faux Benjamin and
Benjamin faux Glenn.
So good. So
it's
close.
Here somewhere.
Yeah, I know.
Fakelin. Benjamin Fakelin.
Thank you. So good.
Jesus.
And then Abraham and like two other guys are walking to this compound. And this whole shot is just like, it looks like a high school theater team out for a walk right before a big play. It looks so out of place and so weird. And everyone looks like they dressed themselves for the part. It was gross and I love it.
There was, I got that feeling too when they're walking down the train tracks. And they're all like, you're not inconspicuous here.
Nope. But what was inconspicuous for the time? I mean, really? They didn't have camo. They just had black suits and ties.
But, well, first of all, I guess I'm just going to go right to that part.
Do it.
But they're talking about going behind enemy lines, right?
Yeah.
They get there. They're walking down the middle of the train tracks in their black suits. They're not trying to look like, I mean, they're not trying to fit in any way, shape, or form. No. And they have a black guy with them.
Right. In the middle of the Civil War.
In the middle of the Civil War when you're trying to sneak into a Confederate thing.
Yep, they're smart.
Yeah. And also, was the fort down the street? Because they weren't sweating and they walked there very fast.
No, okay. The train went through a tunnel, which was very erotic. And then they were like, okay, stop the train. We're going to get off. And then they're there.
Missed that.
Yeah, no.
I missed that.
You missed the very erotic train going into the tunnel scene?
Well, I was doing something.
Oh, fine.
Just kidding. I was just kidding. I was trying to insinuate that it was very erotic for me. Anyway, let's go back to First Zombie. Aaron Eckhart.
The guy that they went to go see. Okay. He finally turns, right?
He turns, but okay, there is nothing more painful than watching somebody do a fake stutter in a movie. And the way he was just like, they ate our flesh. And then all of it, like he had so much trouble getting it out. And then all of a sudden he's full sentences and then he's a zombie.
This guy sucked and I hate him.
And then Abraham Lincoln left him there without warning the people, the doctor or the lady, not to get near him. And so then he turns into a fucking zombie and he bites them, right?
Who would have thought that would happen? I would have never thought. He was a crazy person. Nothing more, nothing less.
But yes, it just made me feel very angry at Abraham Lincoln, who clearly knew what we were dealing with.
You know, I feel like there's a lot of spots where he was like, man, I'm not going to tell you the whole story.
Yeah, well, my next note here is Abe is not nearly tall enough.
I was thinking about that throughout the whole movie because I felt like he was really short in Haunting of Salem. And I was like, they're really trying to make him tall, but he's really not.
Mm-hmm. And like they did all that slow motion, like action star. I'm sorry. I went through the early, the 2010 Abraham Lincoln obsession, like every good,
American,
somewhat good person who goes to craft fairs in the year 2010 did. But like, I will not buy him as an action star or sex symbol. I'm sorry.
Oh no, gross. But the scythe was beautiful. The retractable scythe that he just whipped out. That was a really great detail. I love that so much.
Well, okay.
Am I wrong? Was that not a beautiful scythe?
No, it was, but I felt like he didn't use it to his advantage either, I don't think.
Oh, but
He did. But like, there were so many times where I'm like, that thing is really sharp. Mm-hmm. Why? And these zombies are really slow.
Right.
And he's very tall and has a long reach.
Yeah.
Why is any zombie getting near anybody?
I mean, maybe he's not the emancipator we thought he was.
Was there an operation? I didn't look this up. Was there an Operation Big Shanty in history?
I have no idea.
Because
Are you kidding
I was
me?
like, I'm going to Google that right now because that bugged the shit out of me. Hold on.
Holding.
Yeah. It was historically accurate.
Really?
I mean, just that it existed. I didn't really look at what it was, but I can if you would like.
What did they say it was in the movie? I don't even remember them saying this.
Oh, well, I don't know. 19 Americans were awarded the Medal of Honor for It was a raid. It was a raid into Georgia. Mm-hmm. In April of 1863, and I believe this movie took place in 1862. I believe the movie took place in 1863, so I'm going to call bullshit on that.
Before then, totally accurate.
So they were some of the first Medals of Honor ever awarded.
Whoa.
For sneaking into that thing.
And
that
killing
fort.
zombies.
And killing zombies. But yeah, right about when we got to that fort, I checked to see how much longer the movie was. Because I felt like I'd been watching it for an hour. Yeah. And I was like, oh no, 15 minutes. But
I feel like I've gotten really good at telling when it's halfway through the movie. Because every time I'm like, okay, I can't do this for much longer. It's always at like 45 minutes and there's 45 minutes left.
Oh, well, I was there at 15. So.
Yeah, I get it.
Also, I've watched, this is the fourth, well, no, I guess this is a new year, but I don't watch movies ever. Yeah. So that was like the first movie I watched this year, but that was probably the fourth if I was pretending that I watched this last year.
I'm so sorry. Like, what a waste of your time.
Yeah. It was.
So they get to this fort and they walk through the doors.
Yes.
And the first thing that pissed me off about that is they did not close the doors behind them. They left this huge, like, I don't know what it's not a gate. I don't know. Fortress door.
Sort of a gate.
Yeah, I don't know. Left it wide open, walk in, and everyone that's actually there starts shooting at them, which is funny on its own. It's like, hey, welcome to our fort. You're going to die now. They don't know who these people are. They're just in black. I don't know. It's crazy.
Well, and then where were the people who were shooting?
Behind.
I mean,
I don't know. It's like they were waiting for it.
Stonewall and the other couple people? Because then they were gone and then they were in the basement, right?
Yeah, I think they probably retreated. I don't know. Dude, this movie made no sense.
Yeah, well, and also, Abraham Lincoln, do you think maybe on this entire train ride and long walk down train tracks that you could have said, don't let anybody bite you or scratch you well before you got into the fucking
Thank you.
fort.
But no.
And aim for the head? shoot to kill.
Thank you. No information whatsoever. Like, even once it was happening, people were like, what the fuck is he doing? You should be telling everybody what's happening before it happens.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Asshole.
I did feel like everybody in this movie was like friends with my brother in high school and living their best life. Like, this was their LARPing dream come true, especially the bigger blonde guy.
Are you talking about Wilkinson?
No. We'll get to Wilkinson later. Wilkerson. No, the like kind of big guy that had like
The one that looked like he was in Mr. Show?
yes, yeah, he looked like John, whatever that guy was from like certain angles.
Yes.
What was that guy's name? John. Whatever happened to him?
I don't know. He's not going to January 6th rallies like some people from Mr. Show.
I always thought he was going to be the one that was going to be a breakout star because his, I don't know, whatever. But anyway, I just felt like that guy was like, I've been training my whole life for this. Every LARPing
weekend.
event, yeah.
So,
Yeah,
okay,
so they all just...
they get through the doors. They're getting shot at. And then all of a sudden, these zombies come through the gate for some reason. That's so weird. I wonder how that happened. Oh, it's because you didn't close the fucking gate, you fucking assholes.
Yeah.
Abraham Lincoln knows the deal, and he still left the gates open. He didn't say, hey, maybe close that up. He didn't say, you got... No, it was just, let's go see what's going on.
Yeah.
Fuck you guys.
Yeah. So then they kill a couple zombies, whatever. And then I wrote down that there's a fucking pigeon in the background. And it really took me out of the moment. I just don't think of like pigeons being in like semi-rural Savannah, Georgia. I don't know. Maybe they are.
That's fair. Well, no, it's like it's a tourist destination. So I imagine they, after centuries or decades of being a tourist trap, I don't know.
So then after the zombies come out, they do secure the gate.
Yeah.
But I don't know if you noticed how easily they moved those barrels that they put a couple barrels that they like,
and then they
basically
put
like dragged with their pinky.
Yep.
Like they were so light.
Yeah.
And
then they put like a
couple.
stick up against the gate and resting on the barrel as if that's going to do a fucking goddamn thing.
Yeah. Yep.
God damn it. And then right after that is when we find out that one of the Confederates is Stonewall Jackson, who I don't totally know who that is, but I know he's a Confederate, and that's it.
He, what does that say? Shoots a she and he just like slightly tills. I have no idea what that means.
Oh, your notes are like mine.
Yeah, the Stonewall Jackson character had the worst beard.
Thank you. That was my next note.
I could not believe that like...
You could see the glue like coming off his face. It was
Yes.
ridiculous. So bad. And it wasn't just him. It was like, there's another Confederate later on in the movie who had like a full, it looked like he just drew it on with chalk. It was just black mustache that creeped up and down his upper lip. It was ridiculous. Again, these people were like, okay, we need Civil War costumes. Can you get that by the weekend? Yeah, no problem. I'll go to the warehouse. It's fine.
I'm like, I've done better beards than this for Halloween. And also, I've also just drawn mustaches on with an eyeliner.
Right. And they looked perfect compared to this. Stonewall Jackson doesn't think he thinks they're just sick. He doesn't understand zombies. Right. Because he's a stupid Southerner. And everyone knows what zombies are. What?
Well, it's interesting because I'll bring this up later, actually.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Also, note the sepia tone of the whole thing was like making me actually like, it was hurting my eyes.
I wonder if you saw a different version then, because there was no sepia tone in mine. That's why I was like...
It wasn't like sepia tone, but it wasn't like full color. It was like a brown... No, not...
I feel like maybe when they were in the basement, but that was only because it was dark. Everything else seemed very... It looked very asylum movie, where it was just like somebody's video camera. It didn't look like they put any effects on it. To me.
Please know that I don't know what an asylum movie is.
I know. So. It looks like something that your brother would do on the weekend with his LARPing group.
Yeah. Well, there was a little bit of a weird filter on it on my television. And
maybe I just didn't notice it. I don't know.
It was hurting my eyes, my baby eyes.
Oh.
Other notes. The token black character's name was Mr. Brown. I hated that.
I did not catch that, and I hate it as well. I hate it a lot. It was
so fucking stupid. I was just like, come on, guys.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, okay, so we've got our token black guy to show how
progressive.
awesome Abraham Lincoln is.
Yeah.
We're going to name him Mr. Brown, and then we're going to have him explain zombies because clearly he must be Haitian or whatever the fuck.
It wasn't even. It was totally inaccurate as far as zombies go, because he made it sound like it was an African tradition that everyone knew about in Africa, where it just happens, and they were the real slaves. And then John Wilkinson or whatever his name is like, well, I don't know about you, but I prefer the regular slaves. It's like, bruh, not the time.
Yeah, do we reveal his secret at this point in
Oh my God.
podcast? Or do we?
If you couldn't catch it by the time he was introduced, Jesus Christ.
All right, maybe I didn't. It took me a while. I knew he was the bad guy. I just didn't Okay, yeah, but I was watching this oh my God, they need a diversity, inclusion, equity specialist on the set of this movie. But yeah, and then also the sound was really
Oh my
really
God.
bad.
The sound was really bad, and all of the voices were dubbed in later. The sound was too bad to even keep, and it was off-putting.
It was really crazy. It would be super echoey, and then aging Mr. Herman.
Exactly. So we're talking to John, whatever. We're talking to the Confederates in the jail, and then I don't know what happened, but they're getting armed to shoot zombies off the wall or something. And Benjamin Franklin finally reveals, you can't make the slightest noise. They're attracted to noise, not even gunfire. That's the slightest noise.
Oh my God. And then they were so fucking loud, that whole movie.
Yeah.
They would walk by zombies who were just suspended, standing up. Just because you're not talking or shooting doesn't mean you're not making noise. The gate's making noise. You're walking. There's chickens. It was so loud.
And it was very loud.
And then okay, now that we're not right next to a zombie, I'm going to ask you about your life. Let's talk. So, you're an actor, John Wilkerson? You have no idea.
Wait a minute. John Wilkerson? John Wilkes Boothner? John Wilkes Booth.
So,
I cracked it.
You cracked the code. Yes. So, here's where we find out that the shittiest shitbag is John Wilkes Booth, and he's a Confederate spy. And guess what?
Oh, but that's
he doesn't believe.
We don't find that out till much later. But...
Yeah, but we don't find out he's John Wilkes Booth until much later.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, well, anyway.
Yeah.
So he sees them eat Mike.
Yeah.
The zombies eat Mike as they're trying to use a telegraph. He doesn't shoot at them.
Nope.
And then later in the movie, he just goes up to zombies.
Yeah. No.
You saw them do it.
No. Yeah. Everyone, okay, I will suspend my disbelief and say that if they're not actively trying to eat you, they're in some kind of weird hibernation. Fine, whatever. But they were bananas. They were in a huge crowd and just having a conversation and talking to each other and just walking by. This made no sense. And I'm fine with it not making sense. But come on, you guys. Come on.
It was very weird. And then every freaking time you turned around, a zombie snuck up on somebody, and you're gonna tell me that if you're not hyper aware about a zombie, you're not gonna hear them shuffling towards you and moaning.
Thank you.
It's so fucking annoying.
At some point, it may have been after they armored up and they're going to the city or town or whatever, Abe tells everyone they have to be quiet, and then they're running away from somebody, I don't know, and they go through this gate, which is the loudest fucking gate in the world.
Yes.
And then they leave it fucking open again.
Yeah.
And then they go in the house with sexy ladies.
Yes. So that's where we're at the sexy lady's house, where we find out that Abraham Lincoln only knows people whose name is Mary.
He only likes ladies that are named Mary.
Yes, he has a type. So we meet Sexy Mary, the brothel owner, I guess, and her daughter, Sophia, who's also sexy, and some other lady. Yeah. And then we meet fucking Teddy Roosevelt.
Shut up!
Teddy fucking Roosevelt. Just little toddler Teddy, which...
Yeah.
I did some research, called a quick Google. Teddy Roosevelt was...
Shit, pulling out the notes.
Hold on. Teddy Roosevelt. Oh my God, I cannot even read my handwriting anymore. Okay, so this took place in 1963, which was accurate.
18. Yeah.
Sorry. 1863, which was accurate. And Teddy Roosevelt was born in 1858. So he would have been 5 years old. So I'm sorry. I no longer believe this is a historically accurate movie. And where the fuck were his glasses?
I didn't need glasses till high school. Maybe he just didn't need them until he got older.
Oh, fine. Take his side.
Maybe he was 5 and he was just very mature for his age. If anyone was mature for their age, I would assume it was Teddy Roosevelt.
Well, so we're in this brothel with a couple of tough broads and Teddy Roosevelt, a couple of tough broads who were doing just fine on their own till fucking Abraham Lincoln got there.
A bunch of assholes.
And I wrote, I refuse to believe Abe Lincoln was a stud.
Especially that version of him. Gross.
Yes. And but like they also seemed like he was like 20 years older than Mary. Like they didn't seem the same age. And then they kept insinuating maybe Sophia was Abraham Lincoln's daughter.
But she's too young. But maybe. It was a very gross. I hated it.
And also, isn't there a lot of like historical speculation that Abraham
he was super
Lincoln
gay?
Was gay? Yeah.
Yeah, that's half my notes after this scene. It's like, oh, he's going to tell her he's gay now. Nope.
Yeah. I don't really know how to take notes on a movie like this because all my notes are like, Jesus Christ, Teddy Roosevelt is in this. Jesus Christ. I don't.
Yeah, I tried real hard, but that's pretty much my notes too.
Right after this, I wrote, walk softly and carry a big stick. Fucking kill me.
Yes, I wrote, oh my God, shut up. Because that's what Abe told Teddy. Oh, he stole it from Abraham Lincoln, obviously.
Obviously. Yeah. Then once we leave there, we see a part where there's some zombies like chewing on human legs. And I was like, oh, okay. So the Ren Fair actors from this movie, like they were like, hey, listen, I have a lot of practice eating giant turkey legs. Please let me eat a human leg.
Man, those two guys, they were just hanging out, chomping on some arms and legs. They were loving it. It was great.
It was a very insane. But I didn't understand. So until we got to the scene where Teddy Roosevelt was sitting on Abraham Lincoln's shoulder, in which case those fort walls are way too short. If he can, Abraham Lincoln's head can see, even if he was accurately height.
But they were only that short in that scene alone. Every other scene, they're like 3 stories tall.
Yeah, it's very crazy. But why weren't they just like going to the roof and just shooting them from...
That's what I'm saying. It's a fort. It's like you could attract them with sound and then shoot them when they come. It's such like that's the best place to be when there's a zombie apocalypse. You are in a literal fort. Why would you leave?
My next note is I don't understand this boring ass movie.
But also, I noticed that Teddy Roosevelt's stick, his big stick that he walked softly with, was a shovel, not a stick. So fuck you, Abe.
So then they all go into the woods, right?
Right.
And they're walking around in the woods. And there's the fucking guy is hitting on Sophia.
Okay, but how is he hitting on her? He's like, hey, why are you a whore? That's weird.
Yeah, but then he says, maybe I can, well, I guess maybe I should say propositioning, not hitting on her. Because then he says, maybe when this is all over, I can come see you, do business with you, or whatever he said. And I was like, men are garbage. All men are garbage.
Garbage, 100%, from the beginning to end, never ends. Garbage.
Never ends.
That's when I wrote, why are women in olden times only mothers or whores? Because that's all men will let us be.
That's
Fuck
right.
you guys.
Patriarchy.
That's right.
I don't even know if you need to have olden times in there. But my favorite part of the movie was when we saw a bunch of chickens.
Oh, you love chickens.
I love chickens. And then I was just kind of wondering, like, why... I don't know a lot about zombies, and you do.
Mm-hmm.
Although I know everybody's different. But do zombies, like, starve? Like, what happens if they don't eat? Humans.
Well, they're already dead, so nothing.
Then why do they eat?
Because it's a primal urge.
Like, why do they eat people and not chickens?
Well, according to Return of the Living Dead, they eat brains because it makes them hurt less because being dead hurts. That's a very specific zombie, though. All of their zombies eat human flesh. I have no idea why. Because they're drawn to it. Because it... I have no idea. Because, a lot of movies, they eat any animal, but humans are the most that's what's focused on in the movie because they're right there. And it would be boring to watch a zombie movie that follows a dog.
Would it?
Meh.
I mean, all I'm saying is there was a lot of chickens.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I
In
see.
that
Yeah,
scene.
yeah. Well, also in this movie, the zombies were bullshit. So there's that.
Oh, right. And like, what would have been the problem with like, you had these suspended animation zombies.
Yeah.
And you're walking by and there's only 2 or 3
Right.
at the gate. Why couldn't you just behead them real quick with your magic scythe?
I don't know. There were so many times that could have happened and they just walked by. It made no sense.
It was very weird. Because like eventually you've got to get rid of all of them, right? You can't just have one.
Yeah, I don't even know how they're going to do that, though. It's a zombie. Anyone that gets... Ugh. There's no way it's not going to infiltrate the entire planet if it happens because...
Oh, because we're in this life right now?
Because we're plague rats and nobody gives a shit. And this happened 50 years ago and now it's happening again where there's more zombies and Abraham Lincoln's the only one that knows about it because this shit never fucking ends.
Wait, so if this happened 50 years ago...
It was 50, wasn't it? I don't know.
I didn't take note.
No, it told...
That means Mary was 60 years old?
Almost 50 years ago. Started in 1818, and this is now 1863. So whatever math that means. But yeah.
So how old... But like, if we're supposed to believe that Abraham Lincoln and Sexy Mary were just a couple of kids, that they're the same age, so that okay, listen. Whatever. Anyway, at this point, Mary gets a bunch of zombie blood in her mouth.
Wait. Before we get there, we get introduced to Pat Garrett. And this is the point where I was like, I don't know who that is, but he said his name as if he's somebody, so I have to look it up.
Who's Pat Garrett? I don't even remember that in the movie.
He was a bartender / custom agent known for killing Billy the Kid. I don't know, but
Who was he in the movie?
Some dude that was like, okay, I'll kill zombies with you. I don't know.
The Confederate one?
No, I don't think he was Confederate. Maybe he was. I don't know.
I just don't know where you'd meet somebody in this day and age.
Right. Well, he was a bartender, so everyone always meets in bars.
I just don't even remember him existing. So then...
Yep.
Mary gets some blood in her mouth, and we're like, uh-oh.
Boop, boop, boop.
I got really mad at that point because, like, listen, you just shot the other lady of the night for getting bit.
Right.
You've shot every single person of your posse that got scratched or bit.
Yep.
Now, Mary's totally cool, and you're not even going to restrain her.
It's fine. To be fair, they did not let her get under the covers. They just placed a blanket over her on the bed. So they're kind of punishing her, but it's bullshit. And this is where Abe is about to tell her that he's gay.
Right. But he can't because she got the brain fog. My next note here is the funniest thing I've said all day.
Yeah.
Which is not saying much, but man, Stonewall knows how to stonewall.
Damn, she went there.
Because he would not give it up. He just kept insisting.
Yeah.
They're just a little sick. It's not a zombie plague. It's just like the flu. See where I'm going here, Tressa?
I do. I see exactly where you're going here. And it makes me mad. That you would even insinuate.
That people from an opposing party don't believe in plagues.
Yeah, that's weird. How would that ever happen? That doesn't make sense. At one point, they're like, after Abe is talking to Mary, who's got brain fog or whatever, there's a scene where they like go down the line of people in this room and they're all sharpening like weapons. And the first person they show is sharpening a rake. It was so funny to me. I was like, you don't know what you're doing, do you?
No, they really don't. And then those farm implements were not doing the job. So that is the first time I gasped in the whole movie is like during the scene where like he got the hoe or whatever stuck in the guy's chest and then like that just kept happening and I'm like, this is
no.
But yeah, so my notes here, if I may read them,
please do.
Wilkerson is the Worsterson. Boy, that Teddy has pluck. And oh my God, another speech.
Well, it was olden times. There had to be speeches because there's no TV or something.
True. They couldn't text. So.
No, right.
So then they have a big church bell ringing.
Right.
Or, whatever, clock tower bell or whatever. And that, like, they don't notice that.
No, not at all. It's pretty loud because you could hear it from the fort, but okay.
Yeah, it's very, very weird. Yeah, I did think that they were going to have, Wilkerson was going to meet his fate by trying to rape Mary.
Yes,
They
absolutely.
made that really seem like that was going to happen. Like he was going to come back, try to rape her, and she was going to turn. And I was very disappointed that didn't happen.
John was like, fuck you guys, I'm not gonna kill zombies, they're just men that are sick. And he was like, okay, whatever, dude, just stay with Mary, make sure she's okay. And I was like, oh, he just set John up, he's gonna die by a zombie. I didn't consider it the rape, but
Well, because he was like, hey, sexy.
he was so gross.
He was so gross. He was the Worsterson.
Yep.
So then we have Wilkerson. He goes to the secret zombie that the Confederates have hidden and locked up away. Because, if your colleague is sick, you chain them to a wall in a dungeon. Because that's the, they're just sick.
Right.
Let's chain them to the wall and then abandon them.
Yeah.
And then he's just like, oh, George Jones of the whatever. No. And this is where we find out that John Wilkerson is not only a spy, but the worst spy on the planet because he's literally spends the next 10 minutes of the movie talking about how he's a Confederate spy out loud to himself, to himself / to a zombie. And then he walks away and talks to himself. It's like, you're supposed to be keeping a secret, man. You're not supposed to be like...
He was bad at his job.
He was really bad at his job. Yeah, if you saw a zombie, even if you don't think they're zombies, even if you don't think whatever, even let's pretend that he thought they had rabies. You already saw somebody afflicted with the same sickness eat like half the people you know. So you're not going to just get next to him and unlock him and say, George, remember me, George? Hey, guess what? I'm a spy.
Maybe he was thinking like, I'm so sick of these shutdowns. I'm just going to go and give my friend a call. I haven't seen him in so long. We're just going to hang out. It'll be fine because we'll be like distancing. It's fine.
Yeah. It's, I felt like there was some correlation with John Wilkerson's, like his boots to the ground. He says it to the zombie. He's like, let's get the boots to the ground. I'll unlock you, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, oh, like the CDC changing the rules. Like, here we go. But
weird. He also has a really great line in that scene where he pulls out his flask and he says, a toast to me and my abilities. Good job.
Of which there are many, and I'm not going to tell you which ones.
Exactly.
Then we get to the part where I feel like his name is Mike, but I also feel like everybody in the movie's name was Mike.
Yeah.
Gets in the fist fight with the grayback. So we have this Confederate guy who's changed his mind.
And he says literally...
He's a good guy now.
The guy that looks like Doug Benson literally says, I don't care much for the cut of your jib, grayback.
Yes. So why would you pick a fight when you're supposed to be being silent? Like, why would you fucking... I just don't understand. None of these people make sense to me.
No, they don't.
At this point, if somebody's like, annoying you, then just ignore them. But like... I don't know. I think you got bigger fish to fry. The people who are standing right next to you chomping on human legs.
Right. The turkey leg, human leg situation.
Yeah. So did they get eaten? Or...
I don't remember. It doesn't matter.
I just felt like these guns, they never reloaded their guns.
Yeah, and they're like the oldie-timey guns that take like a half an hour to load, and they just kept shooting and shooting as if they had multiple rounds in there, which I don't know for sure, but I don't think that's a thing.
Well, I think maximum some of those guns maybe had 6, but not like those rifles. I think rifles are like 2, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly. And that's all they had. Well, some of them had like pistols or whatever, but still, that was some bullshit.
They never seemed to reload. They didn't seem to have ammunition in their tuxedo jackets.
There's a lot going on right now. I don't even know where we are, but at some point, some guy runs into a train track because a zombie is chasing him.
Oh, we're not there yet.
Okay.
We're not there yet. We're almost there.
Okay.
So then at this point, somehow they're on these like dirt shale mounds. I don't know where those
Oh,
came
yeah,
from.
that was weird as hell. It looked like they were on some shitty beach.
Yeah, it was very strange. So then, and then that's where Abraham Lincoln has Teddy on his shoulders, and all of a sudden,
It looked like the craziest, whitest cha-cha slide ever. That's what I wrote down.
and then they, so then the dark-haired guy and the guy who looks like he's from Mr. Show, they go into like a warehouse, and again, somehow they get snuck up on by zombies because they're not like looking behind them. It's so fucking stupid.
Oh my God. I hate it
and
so
then
much.
that guy, black hair guy goes up, and then the Mr. Show guy gets eaten by zombies. And
Before they go into that building, those two guys, like the black hair guy, he's like, come on, let's hide. Let's go. And he's like, no, we gotta kill all these guys. And the black hair guy's like, come on, live to fight another day, as they say. Please? It was like the saddest, like, pathetic thing ever. So they do. And that's when they get stuck. They get snuck up on, even though the whole reason they went in there is to find a way away from these people, these
Right.
zombies.
It just
you
seems
should
like-
know.
you would be looking around and you'd be like, hurry up, I gotta get up there or whatever. So then he pulls the ladder up, so I was happy for him that he
Right.
did that.
Good job.
And then he fucking jumps off the roof and breaks his ankle. And that was the most gruesome scene in the whole movie.
Yep. His
And I was
little
like-
ankle flopping around.
And then I was like, again, why are we still on the train? Like, you hear a train coming.
Thank you.
Take one step to your right.
Uh-huh. No, he's gonna sit there and watch the train run him over.
Yeah. And then we're on the hills. We're running back towards the fort.
Okay.
Sophia kind of trips and rolls down the hill and like breaks the ankle of her high heel shoes, picks it up and is examining it as zombies are all around them. And then we get another speech, but then it turned out it was a prayer.
Yeah, Abe's...
Sorry about that.
No, it's fantastic. Abe's saying a prayer. And this was another scene that made me laugh out loud because John Wilkes Booth comes in and he's like gonna shoot Abe. And then he realizes he's praying, so he walks out slowly backwards. I love a scene when they walk out backwards. That's always good.
Yeah, it's much quieter than walking forwards.
But why didn't he shoot Abe? Oh, I'll tell you why. Because he doesn't want Abraham Lincoln to go to heaven. And he's in the middle of a prayer, so he might go to heaven if he shoots him while he's praying.
Yes, that's
Shut
sound
up.
logic. Sound logic.
Yeah.
Yeah, so then Wilkerson continues to walk around being the worst spy on the planet and talk out loud to himself about how he is going to kill the president, except for it's got to be a better time. But like, dude, you're not even like just accidentally blowing your cover. You're just straight up talking to yourself. It's really upsetting.
I mean, I get it. You need to let the audience in on it, but you don't because you're telling everyone. You're telling on yourself right now.
And we're not stupid.
No.
I mean, I might not know if a zombie will starve if they don't get human flesh, but
Sure.
I do understand from the get-go, ham-fistedly, that you're the bad guy.
Yes.
So then at this point, they start making the Confederate soldiers a little bit more likable.
Yeah.
And then they use the Confederate soldiers to kind of say, well, it's just a way of life. You wouldn't understand.
Gross.
Which, reminds me a lot of my white trash cousin who would always wear a Confederate flag t-shirt and say, it's about the heritage. And
Gross.
I'd be like, you're from Batavia, Illinois. So please save me your Southern heritage conversation here. But
Gross.
yeah, so. And then I liked that John Wilkerson started picking on Teddy Roosevelt by saying, dude, the teacher how to throw like a man in New York City. And I was like, is this a Pace Picante sauce commercial?
Because he had a rope at the same time. I was like, oh shit, get a rope. Oh, he's got a rope.
Yep,
Thank you.
Get the rope. Thank you. And at this point,
What happens is they win over the Confederates and they're going to help them now. And they're going to take them to their secret weapon stash, which it's actually a room full of gunpowder barrels, I guess. They just show barrels.
Yeah.
And they start doing shit that I don't know. I don't care. And they transport, or they're moving everyone that they don't want to get blowed up to somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
And they're moving Mary. And I'm like, why the fuck are you moving Mary? She's going to
Why
try
the
any
fuck?
fucking move.
We don't understand what is. I don't understand the timeline of this
Nope.
disease either.
Maybe if you eat the blood, it takes longer. I don't fucking know, dude. It's stupid, this movie.
It's so stupid. So then we have Stonewall is helping by going.
What's he
goes
do?
to the top of the fort and plays taps or whatever it is on the trumpet.
It's reveille. Yeah, almost.
Look at you. You Googled things during.
No, I had closed captioning on. That's the only reason I know.
Oh. Well, so then.
Which zombies fucking love that song. They're like, oh shit, this is my jam.
Yeah, so he's trying to draw them to the fort so that they can blow them all up. I didn't really understand the timeline here. Like, where are they going?
No,
There's
I have
too
no
many
idea.
people near. I want to know how Stonewall Jackson died.
Oh, I know how you. First, why was he like having such a hard time breathing and playing the horn?
That's what I was looking. Did they like actually put in a historical, like he died of consumption? Because he's coughing.
Yeah. What was that? What the fuck was that?
I don't know, but I was finding it very triggering as somebody, you know.
He's asthmatic, but they didn't really go into it. I'm confused by the layout of this fort. It like made no sense. I have no sense. I could not contextualize. If
you blow up that many things, it doesn't matter that you're in an underground tunnel.
No.
Like your tunnel is going to get closed off by
No, it made no sense. Oh, so that's when they realize that the wick of the gunpowder room has been put out by a zombie stepping on it, of course.
Yeah. Yeah.
So Stonewall is like, I'm going to go light it, which is a suicide mission. And Abe's like, no, I mean, okay, go ahead. I don't really care. And he like saluted him as he was going down. I was like, man, Abe, we got to talk about this.
I had a real problem with that narrative too, where they just switched every Confederate soldier to like be a good guy in the end.
Yeah, exactly.
I wrote this down. Stonewall Jackson, he said he was a good man, and a great warrior. And I was like, oh, there's very good people on both sides. That totally was like, which actually might be more historically accurate than this whole like Abraham Lincoln was isn't there something about how it wasn't really that he gave a shit about ending slavery? It was just his political
I've heard
whatever.
that too.
But it was just the winningest platform. They kept talking. Stonewall Jackson kept talking about how all the zombies, like, most of these are my Confederate soldiers, blah, blah, blah. There wasn't a fucking zombie soldier. There was like two. It was women, children, men in bowler hats, and grizzled prospectors. That's who the zombies were.
Which,
so, like,
I haven't even mentioned how much I fucking love these oldie-timey zombies. They were gorgeous in their, like, petticoats.
Bonnets.
In
So
their
many bonnets.
Somebody loved it.
Ladies in like shirts from the dress barn and a bonnet. Like
absolutely. As long as the blouse was flowy, it was oldie timey and it's fine.
I saw a woman in like a mustard colored velvet blazer that I think I own. And I was like, I don't know about that, guys. So when Stonewall goes to relight the fuse.
Yeah.
He's just like walking through the zombies. Like,
oh, it's fine.
There's no fucking way he would have gotten to that fuse. And like they got him at the end, but he got all the way through like 300 zombies.
No, there was no trouble
and they didn't
at all.
Rip that fake beard off his face.
Nope. Oh, to be fair, he had a torch, so.
Oh, right. That's true.
No, it's bullshit.
And then at this point, we've got Mary, who is gray.
No. But first, Abe and Mr. Brown zip line to safety. They zip line to safety.
I might have not been looking at the TV during that.
Oh my God. I swear to God, Asylum has stock in zipline materials because there's always a zipline scene and I love it so much. It made no sense. So anyway.
Oh, yeah. So then Mary's coming out. She's gray as a goose.
She looks like a monster.
Yes, exactly. And yet still, she's just hanging out with them. It's time to say goodbye, Sophia. Your mom is a zombie. So then we find out Abraham Lincoln has Mary just fucking hidden in a barn.
It's like a year later, right?
Yeah.
Before they go to the barn, though, they show him doing his 7 years ago speech.
Oh, yes. The note I have for that is, oh, good, another speech.
Oh, my God. I fucking hated it so much. First off, oh, good, another speech. Second off, really? Really?
Well, that's the whole reason why Mary Todd was upset at the start, because he was going to go to Gettysburg to give his famous address.
Oh, a year later. Cool. Cool.
What can you do, you know?
We find out that Mary is in a barn lab somewhere.
Yes. A barn lab where, like, they're not doing anything to her because they can't get near him. But isn't that the doctor that got eaten by the first zombie?
Could be. I don't know. I wasn't paying attention.
I thought it was the same guy.
Let's say yes.
So then, yeah. So this is where we find that Abraham Lincoln is just like every other man, just thinking with his boner. And then I was
Can we talk
shocked?
about these, like, whatever, the constraints they have her in that are looser than bangles I would put on as bracelets?
Yes.
They were like, they are so fucking big. You could put your neck through these things. It was ridiculous.
And like, yes, that it's chafing her.
Right. So Abe has to, like, make it better and take off the chains and let her know.
But he, like, patted them with some water, and then I think he put the chains back on.
I don't know.
He put the chains back on. She grabs his arm and scratches him with her nails. She had every chance, as his big, weird mole was near her face, to bite him, but she doesn't.
No.
Because Mary's still in there somewhere, Tressa.
Somewhere. I know that she's in there and remembers.
So you're telling me that Abraham Lincoln, who killed his father and mother in a barn at the age of 10.
He wasn't fucking his father and mother, so there's a difference.
You don't know that.
Fair.
So he's going to kill somebody he had sex with 40 years ago. Or he's not going to kill her.
No, he's going to take care of her until she scratches him.
And then he shoots her in the head. And then...
And this is when we find out, big reveal of the movie, John Wilkerson is actually John Wilkes Booth. What?
So then Abraham Lincoln is like, what's the most, how can I go out in a way that's both heroic and easy for me? So he tells everybody, he has a spy, he has the doctor, right? The doctor go tell.
He says to the doctor, do you have a fast horse? Paper and ink? I was like, and a ticket to a play? What are you doing? We know what's going on here. Just fucking do it.
Yeah.
And the doctor runs.
Yeah. Here's where Abraham Lincoln will be. I know you can't afford the ticket yourself, so here's the ticket.
My God.
Kill him. Get him.
Get him.
Yeah, so...
And he laughs. Oh, he has a good laugh at this. Ha, 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 ha. And then the next scene is Abe, like, and his daughter, wife...
I'm sorry, that's his wife? Yes.
Who calls him father.
Father?
Dude. And...
Do you not call Andy father?
We're not going to talk about that right now.
Oh, I call Paul Zaddy. I hate myself. Okay.
And then, the last shot of the movie is Abraham Lincoln looking at the White House, just, like, forlornly. And then the credits roll.
Can we also go back to
Please.
Mary Todd being
Gross?
Well, I was actually going to say insecure. Like they...
Yeah, that's gross, Nora. Ew.
Sorry. So, like, we've got Mary Todd, who, like, the actor is a little bit dowdy.
Sure.
And they have her have a low self-esteem. And, oh, do I look okay? Oh, no. And then, like, I don't, just fuck everybody. That's it.
Right?
I just got so annoyed. Like, he doesn't give a fuck about Mary Todd.
No, he's just like, that's all appearances. And he's got his side zombie that he goes and fucks every once in a while. And then he comes home to Mary Todd and it's fine. And she calls him father and it's gross.
Mm-hmm. He'd like it if Mary the zombie called him daddy.
Right?
So anyway, now what do I say about this movie?
How'd you feel about it?
I hated it.
Oh, weird, because I did too.
It was just very boring. Very, very, very,
Yes.
very boring.
The first time I watched half of it, I was like, I cannot do this. This is so boring. This time I was like, okay, this isn't as boring as I thought it was. And then halfway through, I was like, yes, it was. It was definitely as boring as I thought it was.
Yeah, it's very strange for it to be so boring.
Yeah.
For a zombie movie to be that boring.
Do you have another name for this movie? I don't, because I don't do my homework. But
How about For Snore 7 years ago?
that's nice.
Thank you. I just came up with that. My favorite line was, emancipate this!
We didn't talk about that, and I'm so glad you brought it up.
Oh, I was saving it for the end.
It made no sense whatsoever.
Yeah, well, we emancipated his head from his body.
That
Maybe.
great, but nope. My
Yeah.
favorite line, I think, is a toast to me and to my abilities, which is what I say after every show I do.
You should.
Thank you.
You have abilities.
I do. I have a lot of abilities.
Yeah. But if you are smelling burnt toast, you should go to the doctor.
Oof, I gotta make a call. Nora, do you have anything to plug?
I don't know. Do we plug Icebreaker? Because we got to.
Yeah, do it. Well, it's gonna happen, so do it.
Yeah, I do have something to plug.
What is it, Nora?
In theory, the return of my podcast with Tressa Slater,
What?
Icebreaker.
What
Now
do they
what?
do with that podcast? What's the premise?
I don't know. You tell me.
Oh.
Well, we used to take icebreaker questions and just
Answer them?
answer them. But I ran out of stories and I haven't left my house in 2 years. So
Right.
I think now we're going to take topics and sort of stream of consciousness. Each of us bring something to the table based on whatever the topic is. It sounds more, okay, fuck all this.
No, that's fair. That's pretty much exactly what it is. I'm just letting you talk.
I don't like
I'm just
talking.
letting you talk yourself into the ground. Keep going, baby.
Yeah, I think it's going to be fun. I'm
Me
excited.
too. Me too.
So
Coming.
now we just have to actually coming in 2023. Just kidding. Coming soon.
All right, thanks. Oh, sorry, what?
I was wiggling my eyebrows, but you can't see because my glasses are so big.
Okay, I think that's it for fucking Abe Lincoln versus the zombies. Thank you, everyone, for listening, and bye.
Bye.
Thanks for joining us this week on the Asylum Case Studies. Special thanks to Norah Utley and a very handsome and talented Andy Slater, our mixer and engineer extraordinaire. Make sure to visit us at asylumpod.com, where you can subscribe to the show in iTunes, Stitcher, or whatever, so you'll never miss a case study. While you're at it, if you found any bit of enjoyment in the show, we'd appreciate a rating on iTunes. Or if you'd simply tell a friend about the show, that would help us out too. Unless you're going to be a dick, then no thank you. So until next time, I'm Tressa Slater.